Today is the deadline for candidates to formally enter the race for California governor. Despite a plea from California's Democratic Party chair, Rusty Hicks, no major Democratic candidate has dropped out. And this may be why he's raising concerns. A recent Emerson College poll showed 2 out of the 3 top candidates in the race are Republicans. The 2 candidates who get the most votes in the primary move on to the general in November. Joining me now to discuss this issue is the chair of the San Diego Democratic Party, Will Rodriguez Kennedy. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
What is your perspective? Should the Democrats consolidate right now?
Well, I mean, we should take no chances when it comes to the idea that we could get locked out of a general election. And there is a 25% chance of that happening. And in California, that is way too much. But still, that's a low chance, so I wouldn't be making any bets if I were a Republican.
Why do you think no one did take that advice and drop out?
Well, when you get to the point in your career when where you're going to run to lead the most populous state in the country, you know, you've done a lot of things. You kind of feel that you know what you're doing, and so it's very difficult to dissuade people to do what they think is right.
There is a big field right now. What's the Democratic strategy then for finding the right people within this big field right now?
Well, the field will still shake out. I mean, what really drives this is that they have support and they have donors or whatever, and it costs money to crisscross the state. And at some point, donors and supporters are going to see that there is clear frontrunners and standouts, and then you'll see that the field will naturally get smaller.
You used an interesting word, standout, because as far as the message, no one's really standing out.
Right.
What advice would you give for someone to kind of, you know, step out of what everyone is saying?
Well, the state of California is kind of the chief resistance to the Donald Trump administration, and the California governor has typically been a very big personality. So it needs to be someone who commands a room. So I would say be bold, take chances, take risks. I'd like to say to take big swings, and address the issues that people are talking about. People are done with excuses. They want to see Democrats fighting. They want to see Democrats taking big swings at the problems of the day. And if we see some of those candidates do that, I think we'll see a standout very soon.
Who do you think may be at the top of the field right now?
That's rough. Well, it does look like nobody's at the top of the field right now, but we have a lot of really good candidates. I wouldn't count. I'm interested in Steyer. I'm interested in Swalwell. I'm interested in actually a lot. Oh, Becerra. Javier Becerra is the guy that I actually voted for when I was at the California Democratic Party.
Very good point, and it's interesting that you said that, because as people look at this field, you're absolutely right. It goes from a billionaire to a former mayor to a representative to, you know, there are lots of choices. But it's who would best lead the state, and what do you think it takes to lead this state?
Well, in order to lead a state like California, you need to have command. You need to have the ability to not only have a vision, but to be able to drive towards that vision. So we have those candidates. These candidates are not like junior candidates. Some of them are mayors, some have been in Congress, some have been executives. This is a really, really interesting field. So we're going to see as they have debates, as they have forums, as the ads start coming in, we're going to see people and how they are going to be pitching themselves, and I think we'll have enough information, and I really doubt that the Democrats are going to be shut out of the general election.
So not shut out, there's a Democrat on the ballot. What do they need to do to make life better for Californians, to make it easier to buy a home, to make it easier to get gas, all the different things that we care about when we live here? We want life better here. We understand the message to the White House, but we want the day-to-day.
Right.
So how are you going to do that?
Well, you're exactly right. Democrats need to focus on the day-to-day, and that means that we have to address the cost of living, and we have to finally address the cost of housing. And we have to be able to see if policies that we have currently working aren't working, we need to change course. California Democrats have been in charge for a long time, and we are the party that doesn't stick to things. When we have new information or we find things don't work, we fix those things. So this is the chance for these Democrats to be innovative, to come and embrace new ideas, bring that to the people, and if they do that, they're going to win.
Right. Will Rodriguez Kennedy, we know that you traveled a long way to come in studio. We appreciate your time as chair of the San Diego Democratic Party. A lot to talk about. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.